All right. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know if I told anybody I was going to go live or not. Uh, Anybody out there? Let's see here. Ha 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 ha. Back up board. Man, catchy handle. I appreciate it. You know, I don't know, I put this filter on here to try to get rid of some of the glare, but yeah, see this filter? I put that on there, but I don't know if it's going to work or not. I can see the names better on there, but hey, welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Um, I tried to get on here in the right time and everything this morning. Of course, we have a truck going by on a Saturday. Not supposed to be any construction around here on Saturdays and Sundays, but we are in Thailand. This is Thailand, So let's see here. See who we have here right away. Catchy Handle, Mazel Bob, Vancouver. Cool, cool. I appreciate it there, Jeremy. Um, Jack Tripper. All right. Yeah. What do you think about it? I'm going to talk about the motorcycle accident. I talk about it all the time. Driving with your head on a swivel. Um, yeah, it's crazy, right? Um, Mike, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, maybe I should jump into that right away. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I'm going to save that for a little bit here about what exactly happened as far as the motorbike, and had a couple of videos that kind of led up to that. And I'm going to do a long form video. Uh, yeah. So your hog is 4 years old today. Oh, oh. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if you get a chance, watch that short. But I am going to do a long form, kind of tell you um, exactly what happened, and the cool thing is for the people um, that are here in Thailand. Oh, Gator, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you're awesome. Um, let's see here. So, I don't want to harp on this too much, but thanks for this super chat, Gator. Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. YouTube has all these things they try to, they're all about making money. YouTube is, right? So they're going to try to throw things in front of me to get me to think about how I can make more money, but I'm not necessarily worried about that so much. But, they say if you don't put that stuff up there, people won't do it. All right. So, anyway, I look like I'm tired. I ended up staying, I did go out last night. Okay. So, let's see. The Lincoln, yeah, I am. And I'm going to talk about that here too. I have it, well, you won't see it right now, but I have it wrote down on the paper there. Okay, yeah, U.S. Abraham Lincoln's en route. I think they're in dock, and they're not going to be down at Sadahip. They're going to be up at Lam Shabang. So that'll be on the 2nd through the 6th. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see here. I'm going to get back on topic. Try to keep things going maybe the way they should. I know you guys probably don't care about this, but maybe you do. Maybe you do. So, what's going on in Pattaya right now? So I talked about last week, they had this film festival, and I didn't realize how big of a deal that is. Mike, Big Slick, oh, thank you so much. Definitely appreciate it. Um, but yeah, so I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. And I was right. It's down around Central Pattaya. They have a ton of you can go down there and watch a movie. Now, somebody told me that they do have English movies down there on the beach, but I think most of it's going to probably be in Thai. So, and they probably have subtitles out there as well. But anyway, it's kind of cool, you know. I'm still waiting. Um, I have Cat. Well, I have Amazon coming tonight. Okay, I had to do a live tonight with Amazon here. That might be an idea. I don't know, but would you like that? Would anybody stay up for that? I don't know. We're going to Leo's tonight. If anybody's interested or in town, Park Beach. Let's see. I'll turn this around. I'll show you I know my hands shake so much, but that's Park Beach condominiums right there. Now Leo's is on the ground level of that building, so there's no signs or anything. So you have to come in. Um, it's a residence building, and they don't want signs, and they don't want a lot of loud music and everything. But we have fun there. And anyway, so that's Park Beach. You can see the ocean's pretty calm, a little bit of overcast skies. Um, yeah, it's nice out here. And look at that. You see what's that, like surfboard with the sail on it coming up down there? So there's this guy that lives on the other side of Park Beach, and he has a company that sells these surfboard sailing things. And they have professionals out there all the time working those things. Anyway, let me put this back. It's kind of a cool thing. And they have the surfboards they have hydrofoils underneath them. So the surfboard comes up out of the air or out of the water, and they're riding them, and they go fast. It's kind of, and there's guys that go down there and hook up with these people, and I know they show them how to do it and everything else. So it's really a neat area. This area, I tell you all the time, this is the best area if you're a beach guy. Okay, if you're the beach hippie or whatever, um, of all of Pattaya, if you're a beach guy, Wongamat Beach is the best area, and a lot of it has to do with the like Jomtien Beach. It's a long straight line, and when like today, when you got a little bit of waves going on, it's one long continuous wave, so it'll knock you down. And another thing, Jomtien. I'm not trying to dog Jomtien. Jomtien's great, okay, but Jomtien, um, they don't have uh, beachside condos. It's across the street. Okay. So nobody cares about the beach property like people do here. So where I'm at, like let's say Park Beach, for instance, or Wongamat Towers, or Silver Beach, or Penthouse, or uh, uh, Bamboo Beach, restaurant, bar, that type of stuff. Down here, surf and turf. Um, they all send people out to clean up the beaches every day, so you don't have trash everywhere. And you know, where does all this trash come from? Everybody thinks, oh, it's just sloppy tourists or sloppy Thais, whatever, that are out there. That's not the case. The trash is coming in with the high tide. Okay, it's sea trash for the most part. I would say that 80% of it's sea trash that's coming in. So, yeah, windsurfers. Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty cool to watch these guys out there. But anyway, this is a great beach. We have lots of breaks, there's not so many rocks, but there's rock points, and it breaks up the waves and creates coves, kind of quiet cove areas, where people can go swimming. And the Marine Service has buoyed off areas for swimming, to keep boats and jet skis and things like that out, to keep you safe, keep your children safe, that type of stuff. So that's something else I should mention. Children, um, like my building, we just today we opened the fitness center, and I'll try to do a video more about that. So we renovated our fitness center here, brand new, fantastic, and I can't wait to use it. I will use it later on today. But anyway, so one of the things was about putting rules in place. So my suggestion was, our fitness center is right next to our pool, and why not have the pool and the fitness center rules to be basically the same? You can modify them a little bit, but yeah, so somebody said, well, we don't want just little kids running around in there, you know, in the fitness center while people are trying to work out and that type of stuff. And I get that. But in my building, we have like two children in the entire building. Okay. So people were trying to say, well, you have to be 16 or older or whatever, that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, I hate to get into rules here. I mean, I understand having to set up rules, but yeah, you're adults. You know what I mean? And I don't know. What do you think about that? I mean, is 12 or 10 years old enough to set rules that they can't be in there or they have to be supervised or what? I don't know what to do with that. But I'm not, I like orderly and common sense and that type of stuff. And I know not everybody's that way. Um, but anyway, so we got a new fitness center coming up, and that's fantastic. Let's see here. I was talking about the film festival. That ends this weekend, but if you're in town, you definitely want to go. I was driving out on Pattaya, and I saw a big sign out there for on the 4th through the 6th is Pattaya Beer Festival. And I don't know where they're going to have that either, but I'm going to keep an eye open for that. So, and they had signs for all the beer companies from all over the world um, on this massive poster. Okay, so anyway, we got that coming up, and then the big thing that everybody's talking about is the USS Abraham Lincoln. They're scheduled to port at Lam Shabang Port, which is that way. Uh, if you go out on my front balcony, you can see the port. Okay, and hopefully I'll be able to look out in the distance here and see them anchored out there. I don't know if those ships will be right in port. I don't know how they do that. So anyway, but with that being said, 5,000 U.S. sailors and Marines that are just going to invade this place, and the economic boost is going to be extensive, right? For this area. So what's that, like 4 days they're going to be here? Um, so it's going to be great. And, like if you're a U.S. vet associated with like the VFW or the American Legion, you definitely, if you're here, you want to touch bases with them. So they'll probably do some type of tours of the USS Abraham Lincoln, I would think, because they always, when they come here, they get involved. Not only do they throw a massive amount of people into the local economy. What's going on? I'll show you this here. See, this part of the construction. I don't know if you can see this. That truck. We don't have very many of those trucks. There's my pool. We don't have very many of those trucks, but there are a few of them going by, and the road's getting worse down there. So, and in all honesty, we're supposed to have 5 construction projects here within the next year or so. It's going to be horrible when you think about that, but the one across the street from me, we're really fighting tooth and nail, and I think we've held up their plans. So we're more to come on that. But the USS Abraham Lincoln, it's going to be a big deal here. But when the military comes here, they do a lot of. When I was in the military, community relations is a big thing with the military. So I suspect that whether it's Father Ray's foundation here at the orphanage or the school for the blind, things like that, there's going to be people that are going to be from the military that are going to go over there and renovate, repaint, do whatever they can do, probably donate money to take care of this stuff. And if you're a community guy that likes to take part in community stuff, I would highly suggest getting a hold of the local BFW here and that type of stuff, because they have the inside track for sure. And if you want to take part in stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it. And I know those guys on that carrier, they haven't been in port for 250 days. It's like 3/4 of a year, right? 9 months. And yeah, so I definitely welcome them. I'm pro-military anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, so let's see here, and then let's see a couple other things I want to mention here. On the 28th of this month, which is yesterday, right? Oh, so a shout out to my sister Kathy. That was her birthday. So she's 61. I have a beautiful sister by the name of Kathy, and nobody would ever believe she's related to me. Okay, because it's just the Beauty and the Beast syndrome is what it is, and she got it and I didn't. So so anyway, August 28th, that was yesterday, right? Yeah, and I'm jumping all over here, but so yesterday I ended up meeting with the JomTN group, okay, and so a shout out to Roger. Of course, we have Roger coming up in an interview, and Jeff, and Rob, and Philip, and Shane, and Heinz. What's Heinz' first name? Yeah, I can't remember, but I think Roger was calling him Heinz 57 or something like that. Anyway, and Tom, another Tom, okay, and let's see, was there anybody else over there? Had a good time, lots of good conversation. Military, a lot of Canadians over there. It seems like that group kind of leaned towards the Canadian side, and so it was a good perspective of what's going on and their feelings about certain things. And, but we had a lot in common, a lot of ex-military, prison guys, that type of stuff. So we had a lot in common to talk about. And that just shows you, if you choose to stay busy here, when you're in Pattaya, you need, when you come here, and if you're going to be an expat, you're going to live here, you have to stay busy, right? And these guys are the perfect example. I'm going to try to interview more of them, but they're a good example. They found each other, and so there's another shout out to Cooper's Thai Adventure. He has this anyway. And I met Cooper too last week or something like that. So, and I appreciate that. But Cooper had this insight a long time ago that put everybody together, and I'm reaping the rewards from that. So good on you, brother. But anyway, so these guys have a good group that meet up. They have like their Tuesday motorbike rides, and then they go on these little trips kind of all over Thailand together, usually on motorbike. And there's a fraction goes bowling on Monday, that type of stuff. But there's other guys that go bowling on Wednesday and Friday. And you have to, if you want to go bowling, you have to go to Jump In. Okay, we used to have one here, but it's not here in the Pattaya area, Central Pattaya area, or North Pattaya, where I'm at. But so there's that type of thing. Anyway, so they're well organized and they have a schedule. Okay, so they're doing a lot of things together, and it's it's not necessarily just Americans there. There's people from all over the place. They're like-minded. Like-minded is a good word, right? Uh, yeah, they're. Hang on a minute here. I have to drink my coffee before it gets cold this week. It's already cold. So okay, so yeah, they're around like-minded people, and that's important. Um, to maintain or create a social atmosphere here. That's the norm that people like to do. I mean, you very seldom run into people that just say, you want to be by yourself, So let's see here. So I saw this word drunk. Were you drunk when you had a motorbike accident? No. No. So if you know anything about me, uh, I don't want to say that I never drink and drive. Okay. I don't drink and drive in general. What's that in general type thing? If I'm within 5 minutes of my condo, uh, I may jump on my motorbike, and that's probably wrong to say that. Okay, but for the most part, like last night, I knew I was going to be drinking, so I took a Bolt taxi to Jump In. It's so cheap. That's what we talk about. It cost me from my condo to Jump In. It's about a 20-minute taxi ride, and it was 119 baht. All right, so what's that come up to be? $4 for the taxi ride over there, and I gave him 120. So my tip, I rounded up 1 baht, and normally I don't tip taxi drivers. That's. But anyway, but other people do. Tip, be as generous as you can afford to be. Don't worry about what other people are tipping. But anyway, so it cost me 120 baht to go over there, and then on the way back, it cost me 93 baht. Okay, so if it cost me 93 baht, I'll give them 100 baht. I rounded up to that. And that's what I call it. Call it good, right? But and if you're, so I was taking a car to go over there, but you can take a motorbike taxi, for instance, and you're talking about probably half that. Okay, literally half of it. So I would bet a motorbike taxi over to Jump In from here, I don't know, maybe 45 baht, $1.50 or something like that. So you kind of weigh that out, what you feel more comfortable with. Last night, I think everybody was expecting it to rain a little bit, so that's the main reason why I took a car. And if it's a general longer distance, I'll always take a car as well. So, and they're just available. Okay, so but drinking and driving, don't do that. It costs too much. It's going to cost you at least 20,000 baht if you get caught by the police and they do a field. Well, if they have you blow a breathalyzer or something like that, you get caught. You're talking about 20,000 baht, so $600. And so the good rule of thumb is don't think about you're in America or wherever you're at, and people telling you have your rights in that. If you spout off to the police, I'm going to jump into that a little bit too with another topic. If you spout off to the police and start talking about your rights and that type of stuff, it's not going to work out good for you. So 9 times out of 10, when an officer says, hey, it's going to cost you 20,000 baht, and you're like, I'm going to call my embassy, blah, 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 that type of stuff. And the embassy gets involved, and now it's 200,000 baht. And then if you spend the night there and the judge gets involved, Now it's $500,000. So that's a bus going by. Tourism at its finest. So, yeah. So, and now you're sitting in a prison cell with 40 other people, and you're sitting on the floor, blah blah blah, that type of thing. You're finding your sleeping space with 40 other people, right? And and you're talking about the horrific conditions, and they don't feed you because it's not their job to feed you. You know, it's your family's job to feed you. And then you're thinking, well, my family's in the U.S. How are they supposed to feed me? Not their problem. You know, you have to have money. You have to order. Your phone has to have a charge on it. You can order Grab. Grab can deliver food to the prison cell. Blah. There's all these things that go into play. And just because they put you in prison, they're not going to take care of you. What are you going to do? You know, so use your head. You know, you didn't come here to go to jail. You know, and don't worry about your rights. Come here open-minded, knowing that there's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to try to take advantage of you. But don't get involved with that. You know, look beyond that. Don't be that rowdy person. I would almost say that, you know, I'm kind of a sleepy drunk, right? I don't get drunk very often, but if I do get drunk, it's time for me to go to bed. But there's these fighting drunks, and if you're a fighting drunk, stay in America. You know, if you think you're going to come here and get into a fight or something like that, you don't need to be here. That's my opinion. And I want you here. Don't get me wrong. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to look at the comments here real quick. And then I'm going to touch on this other subject, and we'll go over some other stuff too. But again, welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. I do have that. Let's see here. I went out last night, yeah, and I have. I'll touch on that a little bit, and let's see here. You know, if you find what I'm doing here on the live streams or anything in particular interesting, I definitely appreciate the thumbs up. Okay, if you can give me a thumbs up, it tells the algorithm that I'm doing something good, that sort of thing, right? So, yeah, I try not to harp on that. It's kind of like the super chats, Big Mike and Gator. That I appreciate it, guys. I definitely do. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm going to go back right to the beginning here. Make sure I get everybody in here. Catchy handle. I appreciate it. Mazel Mosaic Bob from Vancouver's out there. Jeremy. Okay. Jack Tripper. All right, Southern California. What part of Southern California is that? Is that San Diego? I should say that. Let me know. Let me know if you have time, brother. Okay. Yeah, and then we're going to talk about my motorbike accident. So maybe I'll talk about that right after I get done looking at these comments. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I have a short in my that I put out yesterday, kind of, I should say, recapping of what exactly happened, but I'm going to have a long form video. I'm going to try to get that out maybe tonight or tomorrow. Okay. The hog is 4 years old. Yeah, and Super Steven, I'm doing great, brother. I definitely appreciate you asking. You know, I'm in Thailand. I'm in Pattaya, Thailand. Paradise. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Gator. I'm looking for you getting over here too. You know, 10 days, 5 in Hua Hin, 10 in Pattaya, 4 in Bangkok. Yeah, that's a good spread. You know, I would almost tell you you're gonna do what you're gonna do, okay, and keep your schedule. I would almost tell you save Pattaya for last, because What ends up happening when people come to Pattaya, they end up staying, and I get that too. Okay, so Hua Hin's cool. It's more laid back, family friendly, um, that sort of thing. There are bits of nightlife. It's smaller, more traffic because the Highway 4 goes right through the middle of town, and things cost more. So, but if you get on the outskirts of town and you're looking at homes and that type of stuff, maybe it may be a little bit cheaper, that sort of thing. And there's YouTubers over there that do a good job covering that area. And I'll tell you another thing about Hua Hin. I live on the sea breeze, and there's or on seaside or the oceanfront property, right? And so here, like in Florida, if you live on the Florida coast, you have that salt air, right? That corrodes everything. So for some reason, we have it here, and things over time, over a long period of time, get corroded. But it's like the compressor, the air conditioner unit up there. Okay, I've been here like 5 years now. I get it serviced every 6 months or so, clean. But I don't see all the rust that I would see in our places in Florida, for instance. Okay, but the people over in Hua Hin talk about they do see it. So I don't know if it's wind currents or whatever, where the salt air is stronger over there versus here. I'm not sure. Okay, and then there's a whole beach life atmosphere over there. It's different, but it's someplace that's fun. You definitely have to go and check it out for yourself. So Hua Hin is great. Definitely check it out. Bangkok's great. It's too many people for me, but there's so many cool things to see. Uh, what's Jim Thompson place and that? Fantastic. Lots of the palace. Um, Going on the river boat cruises, or just taking the water taxi systems. It's fantastic. And then all the nightlife. Oh my God! And night markets, and the massive, what's the name? JJ Market and Chamchaban Market or something like that. These massive flea market, night market, all put into one. It's fantastic. So there's lots to do in Bangkok, but going from point A to point B in Bangkok is tough. Okay, it's like traveling the Philippines. It takes a long time to go anywhere. Okay, so I normally go to Bangkok maybe once every 6 months or so, and it's only for an overnight stay, maybe 2 nights, something like that. But then you get down here to Pattaya, and everything changes. Pattaya is not your normal Thailand experience. Oh, my hair, I'm such a fashion statement, right? So Pattaya. So the people that say, that they don't like Pattaya or they call it a dump or whatever, the people that call it a dump have never been to Pattaya because the infrastructure here, everything's new, everything's fantastic here. There's going to be people that don't like the nightlife or let's say, Soy 6, for instance, all the brothels and everything that are down there. There's going to be people that are going to talk bad about that. But most people never even make it to Soy 6. And should you? Sure. Um, all these tourists, these Chinese tourists, women and children and everything else, they walk right down the middle of Soy 6 just to see it. It's kind of like going to the red light district in Amsterdam. They want to see it. But they're probably not inside the bars and that type of stuff. And that's up to you. But there's more to do here. And yes, Pattaya has a bar on every corner as well as a massage shop or a cannabis place or whatever, that type of stuff. That's all here. So there's a lot to do here. But there's other things to do here that you're going to enjoy too. And you can look at some of my videos and that type of stuff. So I cannot say enough good things about Pattaya. And the bad things, what are the bad things? I mean, during high season basically November through, let's say, the very beginning of March, November through February, you know, there's so many people here that I get overwhelmed and I have to leave. I load my motorbike in the back of my pickup truck and I go drive someplace and explore Thailand. So those are the things that I don't like about Pattaya. But the reason why all those people are here, it's because Pattaya is what it is. Okay, the people are coming here to go golfing or take part in all these community activities, these things that you know we have a large fluctuation of Europeans, Russians here, um, Brits, Germans. In my building alone, okay, probably 50% of the residents here at Wongamat Beach, where I live, right, are German. So, and a lot of the Germans that are here, my Germans, they're old school Germans. They're not the new generation or the younger generation. They're old school, so they all speak German. Um, very few of them speak English, and to them it's perfectly fine. To us, it makes it tough on us, right? Um, but overall, do you need to know Thai here? You don't. It's great when you're trying. If you're trying to say, hello and goodbye, thank you, and that type of stuff, or being able to ask for a piece of cake or, um, you know, or the numbers, that type of stuff. I think most Thais appreciate it. They may laugh at you for saying something wrong because it's tonal language, that type of stuff. But most Thais appreciate you just trying. And there's different things that you can do. The conversation uh, about weighing, you know, is in place, and generally, lots of belongs way to everybody, but maybe traditionally, if the person is younger than you are, you probably shouldn't weigh to them. But don't get into that. Just have fun with it. Enjoy immersing yourself into the culture, and once you've been here for a while and decide to really immerse yourself and learn the culture, that type of stuff, then you're going to realize that maybe you don't need to weigh to a 12-year-old little kid or something like that. That makes sense? Yeah. So let's see here. Get off the track, Gator. I appreciate it. You're going to have fun here. I guarantee it. And hopefully we get together and go out and have a cup of coffee or a beer or something, Um, let's see. You're going to welcome to Lincoln Inn. You know it, brother. Yeah, Shank. You know it. I'll be there, Um, Big Slick, thank you so much, man. Um, let's see here. Going to be a lot of anchors dropped in Pattaya. Yeah, you're right. In more way than not. Yeah. Um, let's see here. The Goonies, greetings from Oregon. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Uh, let's see here. JD, yeah, we just saw you yesterday, and your lovely girlfriend. Yeah, you know how that goes, brother. And we're going to see you on Wednesday, right? Yeah. So there's another thing. We had a good time. Um, let's see here. Yeah, the windsurfers. Okay, they're all over St. Pete. Yeah, I get that. Uh, that's another cement truck going by. But one of these days, I need to take a walk down to the beach here and kind of give you an idea. There's this beautiful house that sits right on the ocean down there that this windsurfing company has, and they have professional surfers in there all the time, and they're taking advantage of the great water here, and trying new products out, test marketing, that type of stuff, and they're very um, the people that go down there and hang out, um, they're very open for people stopping in. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if you're into that, yeah, why not? Uh, hydrofoil boards, right? Yeah, you see that all the time. And the hydrofoil boards, people wheel them in like on dollies all the way to the beach. They'll take them down these roads here, so they're here too. Um, so that'd be, I would like that. I don't know. Am I too big for that? I don't know. Maybe I'm too old for that. I don't know. Yeah, right. Um, let's see here. Garnet Jones. Did I say that right? Looking to upgrade my TV experience. Football season coming up. Hey, and we have our draft in 2 days, right? On the 31st. So I'm part of the Danny's Sports Bar uh, football, fantasy football um, leagues. Okay, so anyway, and there's leagues all over town that you can become a part of in that. But and we have our draft on the 31st. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. Well, we're like 2 weeks away from the Chiefs playing, huh? Go Chiefs! Yeah, put down in the comments. Are you an NFL fan? If you are, put your team in the comment section below. Right, and when you're doing that, make sure you're giving that thumbs up. But, am I too close to the camera, or maybe I should go down a little bit? I didn't think too much about this. I have alcohol sitting behind me. I need to get rid of that alcohol. I haven't really drank any of it in a long time. Not that alcohol, anyway. Let's see here. BG Shank, Hawk, BG Chalk. One of my longtime viewers, and I don't know how your name's spelled right exactly. I see it on here. Initials are, it doesn't matter. You know I love you. Okay. Let's see. There's probably trash being dumped by different ships passing. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure you're absolutely right. And they just expect it all to be sinking or animals to eat it. I don't know, but a lot of sea trash for sure, and it washes up on the shore all the time. And like I say, around here, because we have not only the resorts but the condos and that, they all send people out to pick up the beach. They most of the resorts, as a minimum, groom the beach. They'll get out there with rakes and that type of stuff to make it really nice looking. So yeah, this Wongamat Beach, even if you don't decide to stay here, if you decide to go to Jomtien, come over here for the afternoon and check it out. Go eat at Surf and Turf, fantastic restaurant. A little bit expensive there in my book. Bamboo Beach down here is fantastic. We have a brand new place called S'mores Beach Cafe. I haven't tried it yet, but everybody says it's really good. So, yeah, definitely Wongamat Beach. I just can't say enough good things about it, right? Let's see here. At our condo, children under 12 in the hot tub. Okay, no children. Yeah. Now, we don't have hot tubs, but we do have the pool downstairs. I think it comes down to supervision, right? Like I say, we have the guy, I think the guy's from like the Ukraine or something like that. I could be wrong, that owns a penthouse here. And he's a pretty young guy, 40s or so, something like that, and has a Thai wife and has a couple kids. And the kids are younger, like 5 years old or so. But I think that's about all the kids I know of in this whole building. And it's not to say that I know everybody. Yeah, I probably know everybody. I don't know. Maybe I don't know everybody. But the thing is I try to talk to everybody. I'm on that committee. I'm not a boss or anything like that. But I take an active interest in the people that are here. And I'm really that guy that if you have a problem here, I want to solve it. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's that's the way it goes here. So if you decide to stay in my condo building, you're making the right move. Now we do have this construction thing going on, and I don't know what that is going to entail in the future. So I'm going to give you that heads up. Here comes the bus again. Normally, I don't know how noisy it sounds here, but normally this is just such a great area, especially on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. You just don't hear a lot. And yeah, so there's the beach. Sorry about my hand shaking so bad. All right. Anyway, I think Big Slick, he's maybe going to come over here and stay down here at the Palm. Palm's a great choice. I'll tell you what. Um, and I did that video on my buddy Tim, and he's over here at Aram. Again, everybody talks about how expensive that building is. They are luxury in your face. So when you go over there, everything about that building screams luxury. It could be the automatic car parking. So if you go there and you see a Maserati pulled up front there, and the next car behind it is a Lamborghini, and the next car behind that's a Porsche, blah blah blah. That's pretty standard there, okay? And so they pull up, they get out, valet takes the vehicle, put it into the computer system. The computer picks up the vehicle and takes it to a whatever slot, 4 levels underground. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then when you need your vehicle, you're up in your condo, you call up the valet saying, hey, this is Tom from whatever room you're in, and I'm going to need my vehicle. And so somebody asked about this is Aram that we're talking about, right? So I'll turn this around. I'll show you Aram again. So that's Aram right there. Okay, so Tim, he lives on the 49th floor up there. But and he has a hot tub, infinity pool right on his balcony. That's fantastic. Anyway, so that building, it screams luxury. And lots of people say, oh, it's too expensive. Well, if you can't afford it, you don't live there. Okay. And that's just the way it is. But if you can afford it, I keep meeting people down at Leo's because they see our video and that type of stuff, and they come down and they want to say hi or whatever. And Callum, I just shout out Callum if he's on here. Another great guy. He's in a 150 square meter condo up there, and it happens to be 2 condos that have been put together. He has 3 toilets. I think it's just him, or maybe he has a wife. I'm not sure, but anyway, so there's a certain amount of people that are here that they're not here on a budget. Okay, they're here they have X amount of dollars available, and they're spending it. So, and that's what that's about. Okay, versus my building is a fantastic place, and you can live at whatever level you want in my building. If you decide there's really great condos here for rent, and then there's really cheap condos here for rent. So yeah, you can find a condo here for like 8,000 baht a month. So 8,000, let's call that $250 a month. Okay, or you can stay in a place like Tim has over here at Aram, and I think he's spending 150,000 baht a month. Okay, and it's an 88 square meter unit. All right, so 150,000 a month is $4,650 approximately a month is what he's spending. And and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but if you have it, why not use it, right? And Tim, he's back in the U.S. right now. It's just sitting empty for the couple months, right? So yeah, that's the way it goes here. Um, but yeah, this place is really unique, and it's like Park Beach or Wongamat Towers. Mike, night flight, he just moved over to Pratamac, but he loved it there at Wongamat Towers as well. But he's doing what I suggest: moving around, taking advantage of the area, finding out um, what's going to be best for him in the long run. Okay, and that's what you definitely should do. So, okay, let's keep going on these uh, comments here. Yeah, isn't every day a Pattaya beer festival? It is. It is. You have to be careful with that too. Don't come here and just drink yourself silly. Oh, I got a light on here. Let's see here. You see this light? I don't know. My camera just lit up. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But anyway, yeah. So, and I'm interested. I love beer, but I've been somebody my last birthday party. If you ever get a chance, come to my birthday party. Okay. So we had my birthday party over at Leo's. We had like 80 people there this last year, but sometimes it goes over 100. And of course, Leo's. If you've been there, you're going to say, "How do you put 100 people at Leo's?" So, and I always put a 10 out to donate for the soy dogs. Okay, um, I have everything I need. I don't need anything, and I don't expect anybody to bring anything or even donate anything. But if you feel like you have to, I have this 10, and we'll take care of that later, right? Um, but still, some people feel like they need to bring something. So, like 3 or 4 years ago, I had like 20 bottles of gin because everybody knew that at that time in my life I was drinking gin and tonic, and I had every type of. They have a gin called Bulldog, okay, and Hendrix, and I can't even remember them all. They have one that's pink. That's a gin that it's made out of like rose flower petals or something like that. It's pretty good. Okay, it's pink. Anyway, but I had like 20 bottles of gin. That's like a lifetime supply, right? Okay, I still have, and so and so this last year, somebody must have said Tom likes brandy. Okay, so it's like I have. I'm not trying to advertise anything, but like this here. Okay, this is here. Does anybody drink that? This is pretty good. Okay, so um, but people started bringing me brandy. So last year, I have like, I'd say around 8 bottles of brandy, and it's all brandy I've never heard of these labels. And I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything. There's no doubt about it. My my I have some friends in Scotland, out of Edinburgh. Every year when they show up, they bring me a bottle of scotch. I'll show you what they brought me this last. Normally it's scotch, but they did bring me gin. So they brought me this here this last time. Let's see what this one called. Wee Tom, and it's from Scotland. It says handcrafted in Scotland, and the Caron. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, I still have that. I haven't tried it yet, but so apparently everybody thinks I'm an alcoholic. I don't. I'm not an alcoholic. Okay, but I enjoy margaritas too. That's another thing. If you've never tried one of, okay, so I make the best margaritas in the world. No, I don't know about that, but I do make a good margarita. And but there's certain margaritas here in Pattaya area that are really good. And one of my favorites is Taco Taco. I tried to go there on Thursday, buy one get one free margaritas. They're like 160 baht, what's that come out? Let's say $5. Rita is the owner, so if you go in there, you have to tell her that Tom from Margaritas in Paradise sent you, that she knows me good, and Jeff and Doug and Tim and Amazon and Kat. We all go over there. Okay, so you definitely have to go over and check that out. Tell her, yeah, Tom from Margaritas in Paradise sent you for sure. So let's see here. I get back to these comments here. Live and learn with Mike. Okay, and is this live and learn with Mike? Is this a? Do you have a vlog or a channel? You know, put it down there. And if you can put a link down for me, I can follow it later on. You know, as other people can follow too. So that's a good option as well, right? Yeah. So yeah, you know, the Terminal 21. You would think that they would have a bowling alley there, right? Yeah. It used to be over at the Tops Market over at Pattaya Glong and Second Road. They tore it down, and now they're building. I think they're building a condo over there or something now. I'm not sure what it is, but let's see here. Yeah, Gator. Yeah, Tampa Bay, Florida Gate. Yeah, Tampa Bay Bucks and Gators. Who you have to, Florida's it's a fun area, you know. Uh, let's see here. My comments kind of. Oh, Jack Tripper was a character in Three's Company. Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. I have to jump back here. Were you drunk? No, no. So I already answered that, right? Steve, no drink and drive, especially on a motorbike, especially uh, out on a place like Second Road or something like that. Any place there could potentially be a police check or anything like that. I just don't get involved with that, right? Um, so, yeah, no, I wasn't drunk. Okay. Um, so is there a motorbike taxi to Tree Town about 20 baht? It, you know, no, from here to Tree Town, I would say it's 60 baht. Okay, to kind of give you an idea for motorbike taxi or Bolt, that type of thing. 60 baht, I would say, something like that. Took Bolt ride service from Jomtien to turn 21 many times last year. Fast, dirt cheap. Yeah, that's Marty, Captain Gyro. Yeah, you're right. And it's the way to do it. No doubt about it. Don't have to mess with parking or anything like that. Roger with a D. It was great. Yeah, Roger, great guy. Shout out to you and everybody else over there. Had a good time. The motorbike after your accident. Yeah, my bike is fantastic. I didn't even know there was damage really to it until the insurance company went and looked at it. They said they're going to make it like brand new. I can't imagine. My bike's like 6 years old, and I'm not one of those guys that take it and get it washed and that thing. You know, Cat or Amazon, they take care of that for me. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to take it in probably this next week and let them work their magic, and I'll try to post some pictures of it. But overall, it still runs good. You know, sidecar, appreciate it, brother. Um, uh, Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point about Pattaya. You know, you have to be careful when you come here. It's easy to blow through money, right? Don't do it. Uh, keep a tight fist on your wallet, and there's lots of ways that the biggest problem that a lot of people, especially if they're into the nightlife and that, is going into bars and being so open with their money, buying drinks, ringing bells. Um, yeah, it's that's not the way to do it. Okay, and go in there, drink responsibly, check your bin on a regular basis, check to make sure how much you've already spent. I would even go as far to say, go ahead and maybe pay your bin halfway through the night, so there's no surprises at the end of the night. Make sense? Good tip. A lot of you guys know that's a good tip. So put that in there if you agree with me or not. Um, yeah. All right. Big Slick, appreciate your time, Chow. I appreciate it, man. Scott Green. It's Scott from New Zealand. Scott, man, brother, when are you gonna make it here? I've been talking to you forever, you know. Uh, yeah, I have been to Cham and Bang Sarai. So Bang Sarai just south of here, Cham's just north of Hua Hin. You know, Cham's a pretty quiet area. It's mainly a Thai area. Um, you know, I can see the quaintness of why people like that area, but I don't understand why people would live there. Okay, I really don't. But if you're a loner, for instance, maybe that's it. And yeah, if you're going to stay home all the time, I get, some people are homebodies, right? And you can find a lot of places that are on the beach where you never leave your house. So, and that's what people talk about, Shah, right? And Bang Sarai, it's 40 minutes south of here or so, maybe closer if there's no traffic, down by Na Jam Tien. And they have a little nightlife area as well, or bar area that's right on the beach. That's nice, and you can get food, and they have a good place to go have seafood and that type of stuff. So I'm sure on the weekends, like today, it's probably super busy down there because Bangkok traffic's coming in. So there's a lot of good options. All right, um, definitely some place to check out, Monterey and that for sure. And then Gator going to Hua Hin first to look at condos, buy a golf course. Oh, probably next to a golf course there. I've decided that that's where I want to live. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Then Pattaya for 10 days, um, then 4 days in Bangkok when I'm on my way home. All right, and I hope you make it to Bangkok. That's the problem with Pattaya. Everybody comes here and nobody wants to leave. There's a reason for that. Okay. Okay. So anyway, see your sidecar boat will take you most places, $5 to $8 in Bangkok, right? And the thing is if you're looking at cars in Bangkok, it takes a long time. So you may be only going, let's say, 5 miles or 2 to 3 kilometers in Bangkok, but it may take you an hour to get there. It may be faster to walk. And if you trust a tuk-tuk or a motorbike taxi, that's the way to go to get there quicker. Okay. Uh, yeah, that's a great trip. When you're golfing, it's fun. There's so many great courses here, and you definitely want to check out all the condos here. I know I need to be doing more videos on condos myself. So let's see, Sam Deegan is in Bangkok in a few months. Stop by and have a coffee. Yeah, Absolutely, brother. And so if any guys are in town and want to touch bases with me, um, my email for my site is margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. And definitely uh, margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. So send me a note. Let me know when you're in town. If I'm around, I try to make it a point to meet up with everybody that wants to meet up. Okay, so you know, yeah, I enjoy doing this. So somewhere or another, sometimes because there's so many of you in town at one time, I kind of have to group you guys up. And I hope you understand that. So I don't know why I'm coughing so much. Get a drink. That would be better hot. Anyway, um, yeah, sometimes you get a lot of people in town, and I kind of group you up, and we all meet at a restaurant or something like that. And I know that several people, friends have developed from that type of meeting. So um, anyway, I hope you understand that. If for some reason you don't, if you just want to meet me and you don't want to have other people, make sure you let me know. Okay. Yeah. So definitely, Sam. Hope to see you here. Okay. Fred Patone. Where do all those beach roads really take their customers? Yeah, short time hotels and that are everywhere, and you're gonna, you know, in this area, there's no short time. But if you get down on Beach Road and that, along Beach Road, there's going to be places that are advertising short time rooms, 290 baht, $10 rooms, and generally a short time room is good for 3 hours. Okay, we have places here called Love Inn or Love Motel or things like that, and those are specifically, those hotels and that are geared towards the towards ties that have minois, second wives, and that type of stuff. And it's so much the fact that Love Inn, when you pull in there, whether you're on a motorbike or a car, there'll be somebody that's going to direct you to a stall, and you pull into the stall that's right in front of the room that you're going to use, and that person's going to come up and pull a curtain behind you as you pull in, so people can't see your car or motorbike in there. Okay, and then probably you have your partner with you, uh, and you're going to go right into the guy's going to come into the stall. He's going to collect his fee. He's going to probably offer you drinks or maybe something to eat, that type of stuff, and deliver it to you later if you need it. Yeah. So you get to the rooms. Most of those places, they're your typical 1960s. No, they're more modern. Okay. Now the reason why I know this is because during the pandemic, I would use the places. In all honesty, I didn't want anybody coming to my condo. So if I was going to go see somebody or another, I'd take them to a Love Motel, Love Inn, something like that. And so the rooms, mirrors, big TV on the wall, porno on the TV. They'd have a welcome bag there with like condoms in it and creams and that type of stuff, and a couple bottles of water and fresh towels and that type of stuff. So it's pretty good for $10 for 3 hours. Get a shower. It's pretty good. Good option. So I hope I'm not giving too much information for you. I don't know. Uh, so short time rooms are everywhere. Not all of them are the same, and when you're here, you'll learn that, or you can talk to people. Uh, they'll point you in the right direction, I'm sure. Let's see here. Sam Deegan. Okay, we already talked there. Fred Pantane. Talked there. Gator. Okay. Sidecar. Yeah, Glass House. So that's on Wongamat Beach, and there's another Glass House. Where's the other one at? over on Cozy Beach. I think so. Um, so a lot of people talk about Glass House. It's a restaurant, okay, over there by Zaire and North Point here. I've had two not so great experiences there, but with that being said, uh, give them a try, figure it out for yourself. Okay, that's the best I'm going to do with that place. But there's a good option. Right, Glass House is right on the beach. Okay, so great ambiance, the atmosphere, that sort of thing. Okay. Camp Gary, sorry, but construction is always messy and noisy, but that's just the way it goes. That's right. That's right. And go Chiefs. Cool. Can't say Chiefs. What do you think about them for this year? Okay. Um, yeah. So Scott, I'm going to put a shout out to you. Um, so he's out of Vegas and he's a sports bettor, right? Yeah. So get with Scott if you need to know anything. I think he has a website in that. So should I put that out there? It's like Scott Pritchard something.com or something. And check him out. Send him a note. He's a guy that knows everything when it comes to sports. Okay, professional sports betting, right? Yeah. So let's see here. Camp Guy, I live on the 14th floor, and the thing that is too high. Yeah, I think so too. You know, everybody wants to live way to the top, and I don't get that. I mean, when you're up there, maybe for the weekend or something like that, it's pretty cool. But now for Tim, he has a private elevator, and it's not necessarily just to his room. Everybody on that corner unit shares that elevator. It goes to just their floor. It won't stop at any of the other floors, right? And then he has access to the entire building's condos elevators through another door. But a lot of times in these big buildings, I see this over at Copacabana Beach over in Jomtien. You know, people have to wait 20 minutes to get from point A to point B on these elevators, and they're always stopping along the way, this, that, and the other. And even though I know these new buildings have the right amenities like generators and that, so when power goes out, you don't normally have problems. I would always suggest always being in a building that has at least 3 elevators, especially an older building. Eventually, an elevator's going to go out, right? And you don't want to be on the 30th floor, okay, and have to walk up the stairs to your room. Okay, coming down's not as big a deal, but going up, especially if you got a bunch of groceries with you or things like that. So, yeah, I'm always hesitant about being too high up. But on the other hand, you want to be high enough up that you're away from the mosquitoes. So I'm on the 8th floor, and I never have any mosquitoes here. But every now and then I do get like the big moth. Um, so every now and then, okay. So, but I don't normally get the small bugs. Well, I get ants. Get ants. Everybody has ants, I guess. So, yeah. So there's lots of reasons why people like certain things. I'm perfect. You know, you look at my place. Uh, I like being right here, and straight down from me is the pool, and behind the pool, behind some glass, is our brand new fitness center. And you look out over the pool and the ocean, which is right there. It's fantastic. I really, I'm really lucky to be where I'm at. The way I look at it, uh, I don't know who picked or helped me pick this building, but I love it. I really do. And underground parking, if you want that, I park outside most of the time, but it's in a covered lot. Um, yeah, it's fantastic, and all the common areas, that storage. You know, we talked about that storage before, right? Uh, if you're here, if you get to know me, you have to get to know me. But I do have a storage there, and I don't know. I probably have 20 suitcases. There's probably guys on here that have suitcases in my storage right now. All right, so yeah. So if you come here and you're coming here on a regular basis, as long as you don't have anything illegal in there, I'm not going to go through your stuff. So it's going to be an integrity thing, integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's looking. We'll put a piece of duct tape on it with your name and your phone number because we want to know how to get a hold of you if we need to. But other than that, if you wanted to leave a suitcase or something like that, if you get to know me, okay. But like I say, I got like 20 of them down there, more than that probably. But I got a big storage, bigger than this balcony, So yeah, what else we got here? Let's see here. What do you say? Our friend went out to Pattaya for a week, bachelor party. I told them contact you to get the inside scoop. Hey, I appreciate it there, Crensom. Yeah. Tony from San Diego here, currently retired, living on the hill, Pratamac. Yeah. So Anthony, I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks so much, brother. I'm glad you talked up and everything. And put a shout out to Robert. We just saw him. Where do we see him at? He stopped in. We were at the OK Bar. We were at Rompo Market area over, and we were at Oregano's last night. He stopped in to say hi. Shout out to you, Robert. You get guys all the time. If you see me on the street or out and about, come on over. I want to shake your hand. Okay. Chief's going to go to Super Marty. Yeah. I hope you're right, brother. All right. Stinking Rocket. All right, man. I appreciate it. Welcome. And hopefully I caught everybody. Warm, sunny, rain. Have an opinion about Karat. I love Karat. Nacha Ratchachima. The history there is fantastic. Downtown is really good. They have a few bars there. Karat is a large province, like state, and so a lot of people are from Karat. But and there's lots to do. There's waterfalls there, and lots of temples. If you're a temple guy, big into history, that type of stuff, Khmer ruins, Karat is a good place to be. And yeah, but it's away from the ocean. So Karat is basically, I guess it's 5-6 hours away from here, the closest area. But you could probably travel 2 hours in Karat going across it because it's that big. So, yeah, there's people that with the attitude that they come here into Thailand and they like the country life, that type of stuff, and they want to be close enough to an area like where I'm at that they can just come here for the weekend. So if that's you, that's a perfect area. There's no doubt about it. So, yeah, Karat's a good area. Let's see here. Crimson, Sergeant White, I love. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay. So, Sergeant White, hey, brother. I appreciate it. I really do. I just noticed the Master Sergeant on there, and yeah, life is good. So, from Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay. Warm and sunny train. I appreciate it. Yeah. Roger, I think we talked about that, right? So I have a bottle. Well, I have a bottle of Jose Cuervo Gold, and it's sitting up there, right? And it's probably been there for a year or so, something like that. And it turns out we were looking at the bottle, and the tequila in that bottle is clear white now. I guess the sun that hits it had bleached out the gold color. It tastes the same. It tastes the same. Okay. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So you're probably right. Probably not the best idea to keep alcohol out here, but I have the cabinet up there. It's full of it. When I was buying bars out of their alcohol during the pandemic, you know, I bought a lot of alcohol. So yeah, it's, life is good. Life is good. Let's see. Maybe that birthday booze is a sign you should go back into the bar business. Yeah, I don't know, brother. You know, I'm all about supporting the locals. You know, yeah. You never know. You never know. Maybe we should talk, Marty. Yeah, we'll see here. Yeah, and JD ended up getting his driver's license yesterday. Okay, with one stop. Okay, so Palm and Mark's sick right now, but Palm over there at One Stop, you definitely. I'm going to throw that out again there. I recommend them. I know people have their favorite visa agents. Okay, but yeah, why not use somebody like One Stop? Use a visa agent. Take care of you. Make your life easier. I think that's the best way to put it, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Thank you. Yeah, it's like you're donating to a soy dog every time you go to out or on a sub. Yeah, you're right. You know, and I probably spend too much money on stupid things. That's for sure. So let's see here. We're going to touch on the motorbike accident. Okay, so 3 days ago I had a motorbike accident, and okay, so let's see here. Get all over the place here. If you check my shorts, okay, the short videos, yeah, the short videos. I have a video in there, and it's called like Pattaya motorbike accident, and that's a 40-second video of basically what happened. But I'm going to run through that video. I'm going to do a long form content video as well about what's happening and the ongoing care that I'm receiving, right? But 3 days ago, I think the 26th, I had a motorbike accident. It was 9 o'clock at night. I was out on Second Road. And to give you an idea, if you know this area, I was between Soy 5 and Soy 4 over near Alcazar, Cabaret Show and that type of stuff. And I'm picturing in my head as I'm going down, I'm down the road. They have road construction in that area. I'm on the new pavement, and I'm going about. There's quite a bit of traffic out there. I'm going about 30 kilometers an hour, and I can picture this motorbike taxi driver on a motorbike, and he's coming out of the Alcazar parking lot. Okay, and you can see him kind of cutting between traffic, coming over towards me, and he's headed towards the area of where they're still working on Second Road. And this is all happening in just split seconds. But my peripheral vision, I can see all this happening, right? And he's cutting across, and next thing you know, he goes right in front of me, and I kid you not, his back tire came within millimeters of my front tire. Okay, and I thought I was going to go into the back of him for sure, and I ended up laying down my bike. So, being in the military, there goes the car by that has this radio up for everybody to hear. Okay, but anyway, so when I was in the military, you start thinking about the days of you know, we didn't have motorbikes per se, but we had ATVs and things like that. People did a lot of stupid things, like putting their foot down when they thought they were going to be in an accident, so they'd put it down the ground to get traction or balance or that type of stuff. We had a guy there, I'm not going to mention his name, but that put his foot down and the back tire went right up over the back of his ankle and really messed him up good. But I saw that in other places all over the world, being on these motorbikes, and so I knew that I've had one other motorbike accident in 2012 during Songkran Festival, but I haven't. But in the last 14 years, I haven't been involved in a motorbike accident. But in my head, I've played this out many times, probably learning from experience from you guys, and that I want to, if I'm on the motorbike, I don't want to put out my hand to the side or anything, or my foot or my leg or anything, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have a broken leg or a broken foot or a broken arm. I'm going to keep everything in tight, and I'm just going to ride the bike down to the ground. Okay. And that's what I did. I was going down to the right, and I rode it down to the ground, all the way to the ground. And it worked out for me, right? And of course, my shirt, it wasn't ripped or anything, but I was wearing one of my margarita shirts here. You ever want a margarita shirt? Let me know. But anyway, so it was all dirty on this side and everything. But, my arm, I had a cut there. And here, I'll show you. Give you the gruesome look here. My leg, all bandaged up. And I don't know if you can see this or not. Yeah, let's see here. My toes. Anyway, so my first 3 toes on my right foot and my ankle all scraped up, right? So I'm on the ground, and I know there's traffic around me, okay? So I know there's traffic around me. So I look back, and I see this white van barreling towards me, and I'm thinking, I'm going to die. And in all honesty. And so I stood up immediately. I pulled myself out from underneath the motorbike, stood up, and then somebody ran out, a Thai guy, and helped me pick up my motorbike. And we pushed it off into the construction area and got it out of the way of traffic. I was so lucky. Okay, very, very lucky. And I don't know if I was in shock or the adrenaline that was going on. I'm a 62-year-old man. Okay. And yeah, I don't know what exactly happened there. I'm sure adrenaline kicks in, that type of stuff. And but I felt fine. So I got on my motorbike and I took off. I'm not thinking police report or anything, I'm fine. And so I take off and I get about 200 meters down the road, down to Dolphin Circle. And Dolphin Circle, a lot of traffic and everything still. And it's lit up. And I can feel, it feels like water going down my leg. So I look down at my leg, and on the inside of my ankle, it's all bloody. And the outside of my leg from my knee down is all bloody. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God. Uh-oh. What's that Scooby-Doo character, So there's the dog, right? So yeah, you're thinking to yourself, well, this is more serious than I thought. Okay, so I thought, well, it's like Captain Gyro was talking about. What was my first thought? I thought about help, right? Going and getting help. Where am I going to go? And I wasn't thinking hospital. thought about Kat's place. Kat, okay, so everybody knows Kat. She's a super great friend. She's like my number. Okay, but yeah, and great friend, and so I headed to her massage shop, and she's without a doubt. I know I'm biased by saying this, but you go there and find out yourself and let me know the the best massage in all of Pattaya. Okay, for you massage, it's right across from the Aria Palace Hotel, and they're always busy. Yeah, that's a place to go, right? So I pull up there, and Kat's not there initially. Okay, but all the girls see that I'm in distress, and they take me inside, and I have like a Marty. I have a harem. I have a harem of girls working on me. Okay, and it was cool. So I'm sitting in the chair, and they're working on me, cleaning me up, and one of them's taking pictures for me, which was really good for me after that. But hang on a minute, real quick. Here, hang on a minute. I'm gonna blow my nose. Get off camera to do that. Hate to be rubbing my nose all the time, but anyway, yeah. So they cleaned me up and everything, and I'm just looking um, at these wounds going down my right leg, especially, and they're all abrasive. They're nothing. They're no more than sandpaper got a hold of me or something like that. They're not horribly bad, you know. And my toes look horrible, okay. And the inside of my ankle, my right ankle, won't stop bleeding. Okay, but I'm not in a serious bunch of pain or anything at this point. This elbow thing, I didn't even know it was there yet, you know. And on my other ankle, I didn't know anything was over there yet. But overall, I felt pretty good. And I knew that I hit my head when I went down, but I had my helmet on. And I had a good U.S. DOT helmet that I brought from America. And the side of the helmet was all scratched up pretty good. But my head felt fine and everything, you know. And everybody said, well, go home and get some rest. But I stepped back. Kat ended up showing up. The girls called up Kat. Kat came in and everything. She's like, you're going to the hospital. Well, you know, I know best, right? Sometimes you don't know the best. And I probably should have went to the hospital, but I didn't. I ended up going home. And I probably had a drink. Okay. And yeah, I actually went down to Leo's first. Had a couple gin and tonics, I think, and then I came home. And the next day, I woke up like 11:30, and my head's dizzier than hell, and my shoulders hurt, my hips hurt, and my leg is stinging, and so I get a hold of the guys, okay, my normal Friday group, right? And so I'm sorry I'm taking so long with this story, but anyway, they say go to the hospital, so I go to the hospital. Oh, let me step back. One of my guys, John, he sent me a link to Welsh Boy Webby on his channel where he had a similar incident happen to him, okay? And he did a video on that. So I watched that, and he talked about the compulsory insurance, okay? And that's what he used. And so the compulsory insurance, when you buy a motorbike, before you register a motorbike or a car or anything that requires a license, you're required to have the government insurance. It's a minimal amount of insurance, okay? And this insurance plan, it costs 600 for a motorbike, 645 baht a year, which is like less than $20 a year. And I guarantee you, I shouldn't guarantee anything, but I would say that most Thais, that's the only insurance that they have is this government insurance. If you talk to Amazon or CAT or anything, I guarantee you that's all they have is this government. And it's very minimal insurance. I think it'll cover like $1,000 worth of medical care and a little bit of bike, that type of stuff, and the other person involved, right? So it's not a big policy. But because I'm a Flong, a Westerner, I do have what they call first class insurance, both on my motorbike and my car. And that's a cement truck there going by. Anyway, so I have that, and that costs more. That's like $500 a year for the first class insurance. Anyway, so that's what it is. Everybody that has a motorbike that's registered is required to have this insurance, okay? And you're required to carry it with you, and or a copy of it proving that you have it. And just to get your plate or to get your vehicle inspected, you have to have this insurance first. So less than $20 a year for this insurance. Fantastic deal in my book, right? Now, I've been driving here for, 15 years or so, maybe longer, right? And I've never used this here, and you very seldom ever hear about people using it. But Welsh boy Webby, check him out, okay? And his story, it was pretty cool. And the lights went off in my head. So when I ended up going to the hospital, I have a lot of choices for hospitals, whether it's Memorial, like Webby went to, or International. These are private hospitals, but not at different levels, okay? Or Banglamong is a government hospital. I could have went there. But I chose the best hospital in the area, Bangkok Pattaya Hospital, in this immediate area. It's probably considered the highest level. So if you have any dealings with that, definitely put it in the comment section. But so I went over there. They treated me like a king. Didn't have to wait very long. Took me right into the emergency room. I was there for probably 5-6 hours. They checked out my insurance. The insurance agent came straight to the hospital. First thing they did, they went out. I rode my motorbike to the hospital. They called me up. Hey, where's your motorbike? And I said, it's in the parking lot of the hospital. They went out and checked that out. Later on, he came in and said, hey, we're going to make your motorbike like new. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how can that be? My motorbike's like 6 years old, right? It had scratches and this, that, all over it. And, but that's what they say. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'll take that in next week. And that's not going to cost me anything. Okay. This is all off the compulsory insurance, the government insurance. It's not off my regular insurance. So the important thing is that you use your government first, because if you use first class, then your insurance rates are probably going to be affected the following year, right? That's the thought process. Anyway, and I verified that with the agent. He said, yeah, we're going to use the government insurance first. So, and then he told me, he said, yeah, as far as your medical care goes, we're going to take care of the first 30,000 baht of all the care 100%. And then if it's more than that, your other insurance is going to kick in. And I think that's like 800,000. Okay. Pretty close to $1 million baht, which isn't a lot when you think about it. $1 million baht's what, like $32,000, right? But anyway, so we have this government insurance. So my motorbike's taken care of, okay? And the docs at the hospital, they come in and they ask about my head and this, that, and the other. Decide to do a CAT scan because maybe I have bleeding going on in my brain and that type of stuff. And my shoulders hurt and that, so they do a X-ray there, and then they do wound care, and they're fantastic. And we got all, we did have one guy, but most of them are pretty nurses. So, and I tried to get a phone number from the X-ray technician, and so anyway, she told me she had a boyfriend, and I said, well, that didn't matter. She just laughed at me, But yesterday I did get a nurse's number. So, yeah, maybe I shouldn't get into that. So anyway, they so that day they ended up doing all that, and then they released me like 5 hours later, and they showed me the bill, and it was 8,500 baht. Okay, so less than $300 for everything, CAT scan, everything, and they sent me home with antibiotics and pain pills as well, and they told me to come back every day for the next 7 days for wound care. So yeah, 8,500 baht, and the insurance covered everything. Okay, no deductible, nothing out of pocket for me, just my time. And so yesterday I went up there to the Bangkok Hospital again, took me right in. Shout out to Sue, is my nurse who took care of RN that took care of me, and so I got her contact information and everything. Anyway, so yeah, if you see Sue, check me out. Maybe I should just shut up about that. Anyway, hopefully I see her again today. So I went up there yesterday. The bill was 1,500 baht for that. I have to go up later on, so I have to do that. And so yesterday was the second day. Today will be the third day. So I got another 4 days after that. I'm hoping everything starts showing progress as far as healing goes. In all honesty, my foot looked 50% better than it did the day before yesterday. So, and then, I have an appointment to go see the doctor I saw in the emergency room, like on the 3rd of September. So anyway, I'm hoping everything heals up before I go back to the U.S. I'm going back on the 8th. And I'll be in the U.S. for 1 month. So yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it sucks to be in a motorbike accident. You have to definitely drive with your head on a swivel, take care of yourself, do the right things. It sucks to be involved in things like that, right? But everything worked out, and I am so fortunate. I'm fortunate for guys like you and the guys, John and Ross and Lenny and Carl and all these guys, even Gene. Anyway, I'm fortunate for everybody, right? And Jeff and Doug and Tim and Amazon and Kat and Lady and everybody that is in my circle. I am so fortunate. Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate it. So I'm going to throw this back out there. If you like what you're hearing, definitely give me that thumbs up. Signals the algorithm, tell the algorithm to share the video with other people. Last week, let's see here, we had like 40 some people on here at one point or another. To me, is a lot of people. And at the end of the chat, there was like 300 and some people total for the entire chat. But by the end of the week, like right now, it's like 2,000 people that have watched that chat. And that was a long chat. That was like 2 hours. I don't even know how long we're going right now, but it was a long chat. We covered a lot of information, that type of stuff. So anyway, if you can, that. And then you guys on the super chat, I did put a goal of 5. I don't know. And, you know, it said, well, what will you do if you reach 5? You know, I'm going to talk to you regardless. Question and answer, that type of stuff. I'm going to do that regardless. So if you want to do it, that's fine. I appreciate it, but just disregard that. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, so overall, I feel pretty good. Last night, I didn't feel any pain. I was taking ibuprofen, that type of stuff, and I slept really great and everything. Went out last night, and I did drink a little bit last night, even though I'm on those antibiotics. I think the antibiotics are just for infection into the wounds and that type of stuff. Should I be drinking? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm not the maybe I'm not the example to follow. But yeah, okay. So let's see here. Where else are we at here? I'm going to look back, and then I got another thing to talk about on the 20 starting yesterday, the 28th immigration stuff to go over there. So okay, so we're going to look here real quick here. Let's see here. Let's see, Roger D. Karat. See, Roger with the D. Cham is a very busy weekend with Bangkok people. Not much coastal wise outside the city because of sea salt farms. Yeah. You see a lot of people talking about Cham. I don't get it personally. And if you go down the coast, there are sporadic condominiums along the coast, but there's not a lot to do in that area. So it's a pretty quiet area, I guess, you know. And probably with that being said, the prices are probably cheaper in that area. So if you're really on a budget, maybe that goes into play. You can live really nice on a cheaper budget there, probably. Let's see here. Anthony. Okay, Gator. Find ladies weird to play golf with. Yeah, actually. You know, I talk about Gay. Shout out to Gay. She's up in Chiang Rai right now. But I met her. And what I ended up doing, how I met Gay, I was playing at Lam Chabang Golf Course, which is a kind of a country club style, really, really nice Thai style golf course, but super nice. About 3,000 baht, about $100 to play there, right? And I played in a charity tournament. Pro Moore, my golf coach, got me involved with that, and it was me on a team with 4 other Thai women. Okay, and all the Thai women were like, I'm like a 25 handicap, and all the women were like 18 handicap or less, you know. And so you had there was 5 of us on the team, so I had 4 women, plus we had 5 caddies, plus we had drink girls, all kind of going with us because. Do I sound like an alcoholic? I don't know, but our group was a party, a rolling mobile party. Okay, and we had a great time. We played 18 holes out there. We had the cameras, the local media was on us all the time, and why not? And so even my caddy, I had Lee. Shout out to Lee, great caddy over there at Lunchbox, and she said, Tom, she said, if you don't come out of there with at least 9 phone numbers, you're crazy. And she was right. I got contacts from all the girls there. There was like 1 or 2 of them that maybe were married or had significant others, you know. But then, and Gay was one of them. Gay owns a construction company, and she did renovations on condos, buildings, this, that, and the other, commercial buildings. So she did, when you're talking about this is non-transactional. These people are not looking for my money. Okay, I don't have a bunch of money anyway. Okay, but anyway, yeah, they're not looking for my money. This was normal relationships, right? And yeah, so and I ended up dating a couple of these different girls, but Gay always caught my eye, and she was fantastic. And eventually, Gay ended up moving in with me at one point or another, living over at Park Beach. And so, yeah, and now, even though she couldn't speak any English, okay, and she's 40, I think she's 45 or so, and her daughter works over at Cheeks Go-Go on Walking Street. Both her and her daughter could be sisters. They're both absolutely stunning, beautiful. I'll try to put some pictures up at some point or another of us. And but she couldn't speak English, so the language thing was a problem. Yeah, you make do. But I still, to this day, I'll go up and visit her and her family. She has a son, and her mother, Kay's mother, is fantastic. And they're up in Chiang Rai, and we still talk, but we're just friends, So, can you find ladies to golf with? Absolutely, 100%. You know, and what you're going to learn is if you go down to like Thai Fleet, down at Satahet, the Navy Fleet course down there, it's one of the cheapest places you can go. You can go down there. You don't have caddies there, but you can play 18 rounds with the cart. It's like 550 baht. So let's say less than $20 per person to play 18 holes. You know, but like on Thursdays, it's caddy day there, where all the local caddies from all the other courses show up on Thursdays, and they get to play for 50 baht, 18 holes. Of course, they're walking; they're not on carts. But it's the perfect time to go out and meet caddies. Okay, so you look at my phone, and you golfers, you're going to have everybody creates line lists of all their caddies for the different golf courses and how much they charge, this, that, and the other. You know, standard tip for a caddy is 300 baht, $10. Okay, and my favorite caddies, I always give them 500 baht, but other people give them more. You know, it's up to you. Be as generous as you can afford to be. You know the story, right? So yeah, get off that. Let's see, Jody Griffin, do you use first class insurance? I do. Yeah, so I go through Jack Levy. I've talked about him over at McAllen Insurance. He takes care of he's a broker um, for all the different car, motorbike, health insurance, all kinds of insurance, home insurance, that type of stuff. Anyway, so check with him. He'll set you up with the right company. And it just so happened that I use MSIG. It's a Thailand company, and they covered both my government insurance as well as my first class insurance. All right, so yeah, definitely. As a plug, protect yourself, because a Thai is going to look at you as being rich, no matter whether you're rich or not. They figure if you can afford a plane ticket to be here, you're rich. That makes sense? Okay. Anyway, that's my word of advice as far as that's concerned. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like we're caught up there. So, all right. So, Crimson, you want a shirt? Send me a message at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Okay. And depending on where you're at, you'll have to pay for shipping and that type of stuff. The shirts are basically they're 500 baht for $15. Okay. And then I'll ship it to wherever. And I want I'll tell you on the shirts. So these are Asian sizes. All right. So let's say you're an extra large. You're probably going to be a 3X. Okay. Um, does that make sense? So a guy like me, like this is a 6X, and normally I would wear a 2 or 3X if I was buying at Walmart in the U.S. Okay, but this is a 6X on me. But these are nice and lightweight. They're great for wearing in this type of weather. It's that I don't know. It's a not dry fit, but it's that type of material. Perfect golf shirts and that type of stuff. And anymore, because I buy them, they're my most comfortable shirts. I wear them like all the time. So if you're interested in a shirt, send me a message and we'll get that out. I'll give you the real price of whatever the shipping is to you, and we'll make it happen. Does that make sense? Okay. So margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. Send me a message. Tom. All right. Cool. Life is good. Okay, so I want to talk about this before I'll try to wrap up. I mean, we're already an hour and 55. Where does the time go? I don't get it. It's crazy. Okay, so of course I do have a little book here. Um, okay, so effective yesterday, this was something the Prime Minister of Thailand made public. They got a lot of stuff going on with these nominee companies and that type of stuff around Thailand, where foreigners have came in and taken control of prime properties, um, and they're making a ton of money on them, and Thais have no say. So, and that's not the way it works. Okay, so Thais have 100% say about everything in Thailand. It's their country. You're a guest here. So if you're concerned about your investment here, and again, it's kind of like a condo, for instance. Don't ever come here and invest in condos. Okay, don't do that. If you have money to burn and you don't care about that money, and you want buy a condo, buy a bar. Okay, but more than likely, the money you spend on those type of purchases, you're not going to make money on. Now, with that being said, I've never lost money on any of my real estate deals in Thailand. Even my bar business, I never lost money on it. So, but I know a lot of people that have lost money. Does that make sense? So, when you're in, I'm going to go a step further. If you're in buy a condo, for instance, um, I have a kind of a matrix on that, which I'll try to touch base or bring up to date on a condo. But a condo, for instance, here, you want it to be a fire sale where somebody needs out of their condo right now. They're on a time plant. They need money now. They're broke, whatever the case may be. And if you're able to find that fire sale, you want to make sure that you're paying well below market value. If the market value is, let's say, 3 million baht, you should be getting it at a minimum of 1.5 million baht or less. Okay, and do you care about the guy who currently owns it, how much money he's going to make on it? Do you care about whether he's going to lose money? Most people could care less. It's all about your money and how much you're going to spend, and you need to be secure at what you're going to get. Okay, so if you go back and look at, I have some videos that are titled like I bought a Seaview condo for $45,000. If you look at any of those type videos, you know that this video, it's a 48 square meter sea view, 80 meters from the beach. Okay, in probably the most prominent area of all of Pattaya. And the guy wanted 2.2 million baht for it, and I offered him 1.5, and he basically said he would take it if I could give him 10% down in cash that day, and I did. Okay, I had all the money that day, but I gave him 10% down on it, and it just worked out great for me. Is it going to work out great for you? I don't know. But if I had to walk away from this condo, would I be upset? Sure. Okay. But is it going to break me financially? No. And, I'm hoping that when something happens to me 20, 30 years ago from now or whatever, that my daughter Chloe's going to have it. Okay. Or Amazon's going to take it over, or something, or Cat, or somebody's going to take it over. Somebody that I care about is going to have it. Okay. So yeah, maybe it's going to be Lady, or it doesn't matter who it is, But the thing is this wasn't an investment for me. Okay. And that's the way you need to look at it. And the money you put into it can't be money that you're going to need in the future for something else. Okay. If you get sick or something like that, and you're thinking, oh, I'll just sell my condo and put it up for collateral or whatever. No, you can't do that, because nobody's going to give you what you paid for it, probably. And because there's such a massive market turnover right now, buildings going up all over and everything, and prices. I mean, you can go get a seaside condo right here on the beach for $8,000, less than $300 a month. Does that sound good? Or you can spend $150,000. And it kind of depends on what you're after, but everything's super doable. One of you guys is talking about you can't live on $1,500 a month in Pattaya, Thailand. Well, that's BS. You can. I've done it. I make more than that, but I've done it just as tests, that type of stuff. And I know guys that are living on way less than that here. All right. But you want more. You don't want to come here and live on $1,000 or $1,500. You want to come here and you want to thrive. When you retire, you don't want to survive. Okay. Or you want to survive, right? Did I say that wrong? You don't want to feel like you're just surviving. Okay. You don't want to feel like you're just existing here. You can exist in the United States or anywhere else, right? Or in a rice farm up in Isan. You want to come to Pattaya, Thailand to thrive, to not worry about money and do the things that you want to do. It doesn't mean you have to go with a different girl every night, or go out drinking. Or I know lots of people that don't drink at all, So if you can get away from alcohol in general, you'll save a ton of money. Guarantee that. And use Pattaya as a base camp to get out and do things all over Pattaya. So like I say, the Prime Minister, he's got a new plan out. It's a zero tolerance deportation rule that's enacted that goes into play on the 28th, yesterday. And this is all about unruly tourists. Okay, it's about tourists in general, people that are, in the military, we always talk about having integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's looking, and I think in Pattaya, Thailand, integrity plays a big role while you're here. If you're doing the right thing and not worried about who's watching you do it, you're going to succeed. Whether it's your visas or going out at night or even in a relationship, you're going to survive. You're going to excel. I hope that makes sense. But if you're one of these guys that just look forward to getting drunk every night and getting into a fight and are the most unhappy people in the world. Guys that sit in a bar and complain about everything. Um, there's going to be problems, and it's gonna spread to other people, and people are going to realize that maybe you're part of the problem. Okay, and I was at when the motorbike accident happened. Um, I was at the hospital. They told me that I had to go do a police report and for the insurance. Okay, and and I had 24 hours from the time of the accident to do the police report. So on the first night when I was at the hospital after I got done, I ran back to my condo, picked up a green book for my motorbike, and went to the police station. And I was down there waiting. It didn't have to wait very long. I was in queue, and there was another American in there that had his bike towed. Now I had my bike towed too. I have a video on that. And he was complaining very loudly to the girl behind the counter. And, you know, more than likely, she didn't understand English at all. It's not their job to translate for you. Okay. And that's the way they look at it. It's your job to figure out how to communicate with them. But he didn't look at it that way. And he thought the 2,000 baht they wanted for the fine for his parking violation, which is like $60, was outrageous, ridiculous, and he wasn't going to pay it no matter what. Okay, and they told him basically to go sit down. They'll have somebody come talk to him. So he sits down right next to me, and he's going. The guy, I think the guy was from Iowa. Okay, I guess that doesn't matter. Okay, but anyway, so the guy's sitting there next to me, and he's going off. He's another big guy and everything, and going off. And he looks at me and he said, "Well, what are you looking at?" And I told him, I said, "Man," I said, "you need to calm down and not be so boisterous here because you're getting loud, and it's not going to help your situation. Try to calm down and be calm and talk to these people. The people around you is taken as a massive slap in the face, you yelling at the police, you know." He's like, F them. And he told me that I needed to have a pair of balls to stand up to these people, this, that, and the other. Now the thing is that's BS. Okay. This guy was out there and he kept talking about he can't stand Thailand. It's so corrupt, this, that, and the other. And I just looked at him in a calm voice. I said, "Man," I said, if you really can't stand Thailand, what are you doing here?" I said, "You know, I love Thailand. Okay, I really do. And but if you don't want to be here, get on a plane and leave. My life is so much better without people like that in my life." You know what I mean? And he looked at me like, if he wasn't, he looked like a bully to me. Okay, personally, he looked like a bully, and I'm sure if he was much bigger than me, and he was a lot younger than me too, but maybe he would. Maybe I don't know if he would have tried to hit me or not. I don't know, but he ended up leaving, and he didn't come back. Thank goodness. We didn't need people like that in there. Okay, but yeah. So that type of people, yeah. If you're that type of person, don't come to Thailand. Go to Iraq or someplace like that, I guess. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so well, I'm going to jump back to the comments here in a minute, Sinking Rocket. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. So unruly tourists, visa overstay people. You know, I have in my phone an alarm set for when my 90-day check-ins due, that sort of thing, and that's the way to do it. Take care of yourself. I mean, nobody's going to be checking to see when your visas are due and this, that, and the other. So put reminders on your phone, put it in your calendar when your visas are due, and when you need to check in, that type of stuff, and get with Mark and Palm at One Stop and let them know. They'll even send you a message if you need it. All right. So, yeah, don't be that person. People that are also, they're targeting people that are in illegal businesses. Okay. And there's lots of those. You walk around Bangkok and there's all these Pakistani guys out there selling watches, Rolex watches and that on the streets. And you're like, what the heck, man? That normally a Thai person or Myanmar or something like that is out there doing that. And the people that are here, what are they here for? Whether they come here to work illegally. It's like you have all these girls from Ghana down on Coconut Row on the beach. And what are they doing down there? You know what I mean? Anyway, everybody wants a piece of that pie. Okay, they see a possibility of making some money, and they're not doing it the right way. Does that make sense? So the tourism standard, and I go into the police station. I was kind of talking about that guy. Be mindful of where you're at. Okay, getting upset and spouting off does nobody any good ever. Okay, it's like going into a restaurant and complaining about your food. Do you need to? If we were in a place and a chicken breast had a worm in it one time. Do you need to bring that up? Yeah, but you probably shouldn't bring it up to the wait staff because they had nothing to do with it. Ask for the manager, have them come over and let them know what's going on. Hopefully, the manager is going to be a Flong or something like that, and they're going to take care of it. But keep your voice down. Don't make a scene. Don't let everybody else know about it in the restaurant. When you do that, if you act like a hothead in there, it's going to be a problem. And Thais look at it, and most other people are going to say, you're the one that looks bad. Okay? They're going to turn it around on you. That's never a good thing. So that's they're going after people that undesirables in Thailand. All right. And Thailand does attract a certain amount of undesirables. We see it all the time. It's like I talk about how many times do I get a message on my phone for somebody wanting to borrow money? And the fact is every day I've already had 2 people send me messages today about borrowing money. Okay. And I'm not talking about only Thai girls. Okay. I'm talking about belongs too. They get at the end of the month. I shouldn't say nobody. A lot of people don't budget their money to make it to the end of the month. Okay. Or to the beginning of the month. So they need an extra 1,000, 2,000, this, that, and the other. And so Ray, there's another Ray on here. And I don't know if he's still here or not. Some of you guys know this story. I bought a motorbike, an extra motorbike. Had another friend of mine, okay, Ben, and he wanted to leave town. He needed to get rid of his motorbike. I gave him 20,000 baht for it. A Honda Click, it was like 1 year old, 125. And I thought I'd keep it as an extra bike for when you guys come here. And if I trust you, believe in you, this, that, and the other, I'll let you use it. Okay. So regardless of that. So Ray, he's a cheap guy, and I know he's cheap, but he approaches me basically, says, hey, he said, let me borrow your motorbike, and if I like it, I'll rent it from you. I thought, yeah, what a deal. Okay, that sounds good. So like 6 months later, he's still here. He still has my motorbike. And I sent him a message. I know registration's coming up on it and that. He says, oh, I have a copy of your green book and everything. I'll take care of that. No problem. I said, oh, okay. If that works, it works, right? Anyway, and I said, it's still, you've had it 6 months. Maybe you should give me, maybe let's say 3,000 or 4,000 baht for this motorbike per month. Oh, well, that's quite a bit, isn't it? Well, I mean, you could go rent one or something, but I'd like to have my motorbike back for maybe other people can use it too. Oh, okay. Yeah. 2 or 3 months go by, nothing from him. I send him a message, hey, bring me back my motorbike. Next thing you know, he blocks me completely. As friends with him online. This guy, okay, Ray, he's been I shouldn't say a lifelong friend. I knew him in high school, okay, in the U.S., but he's blocked me completely. He stole my motorbike. Now, should I go to the police? I don't know if I'm going to go to the police over this, but I'm putting his name out there. He's a freaking, no good. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, Thailand, Pattaya attracts some of the worst people in the world. Okay, and Ray is one of those guys. This motorbike, I don't know where it's at. I haven't seen it now in like a year and a half, something like that. Now all my motorbikes, even my daughter's motorbike, have smart tags on it. My truck downstairs has a smart tag on it. Okay, but yeah, who knows? But that's a true story. And so let me look back through here. I've had so many really have to go through my life someday. Let's see here. Sting Rhyme. It says buy dividend stocks, so pay for your rent instead of plunking it down purchase. Yeah, so if you're an investor guy, you should do that type of stuff. I'm not making a recommendation on investing, but lots of people say, if you have $100,000 in the bank, leave it in the bank, make money on it, takes care of your rent, and you always have that money. Okay, I get that. Okay, so if you're going to buy a condo here, I'm just telling you, or a house or anything like that, and you're going through a lawyer to get it legal, don't be looking at that money as part of an investment plan or an investment strategy. Okay, it's money that you can lose, that you can afford to lose, like going to a casino, right? Okay, so it's the stinking rock. I'm taking $5,000 a month on dividends, spending $150,000 on a Thai condo would be silly until you spent a year or two in Thailand, right? 100%. You need to be here, feet on the ground, knowing exactly where you want to be. And even then, it has to be in one of these fire sales. It has to be undervalued. And it's not a developer or a realtor telling you it's undervalued. You really have to do your research and find out that what properties are selling for in that area, that building, and that the property you're looking at is half, 50% of the value of what everything else is going for. That makes sense? Okay. Let's see here. Thinking Rocket, are you referring to covered call ETFs? I don't know what ETFs are. Yield max or just regular monthly dividend stock. Yeah. So I'm not your investor guy by any means like that. I'm not talking about anything investing. So, yeah, buy some GameStop. Yeah. So that's a stock, right? Yeah. Trust me. All right. So that's good information. You know, you ought to come here and we ought to have lunch together. You can educate me. I always need education. Okay. Yeah, so that's what people say. You have such little time because this place is really booming here. So our price is going to go up. Do you follow the norm here? Normally here in Pattaya, prices haven't been going up. Not like Bangkok. Okay, prices go down, and you could expect a building like Aram here. I'll turn this around so you can see. So let me set that down. So Aram, let's see, that building right there. Okay, luxury condo at its best, right? You know, super expensive. If you look at the condo that Tim's renting, I think if you're going to buy that condo new, or probably buy it, it's like 59 million baht, and that's less. Let's say 1.8 million US dollars for that condo. Is that too much? Yes, that's way too much for Thailand. And I'm no investor strategy guy by any means, okay? But the market trend here is that in 10 years, that condo, that property is going to be worth 50% less. All right. So the people that are spending that type of money on it just can't afford it. They want the best of the best of the best, right? And is it going to be worth 2 million, whatever? I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Park Beach across the street. Let's see here. This one here, Park Beach, fantastic building, about 30 years old. And you get on some of those front units, they're 200 square meters. Basically, on the front units, they're about $1 million for those front units. Looking out, my buddy Berner, Berlin guy, he's up on the top floor before you get to the penthouse levels. In the very front, he ended up spending like $250,000 on it 30 years ago. He's had it for sale for like $2 million for forever, and it's just way overpriced. Yeah, things are down in value here. So you can go over to Park Beach right now. A buddy of mine sold two condos on the 29th floor. Fantastic condos. Have been to many times. Many margarita parties have happened in those condos, and he sold them for 6.3 million baht, plus around $180,000 for two of them. 110 square meters, looking right at the patio sign. Great location. 50 meters from the beach. So really, really great. Anyway, that's the way it goes. And all these other buildings, eventually the amenities are going to drop. Maintenance, ties are horrible with maintenance. So it takes guys like me running a building to keep the buildings up. It's the reason why, like, we just spent 1.5 million baht on renovation for our new fitness facility. Open today. Still haven't went down since they've opened, but I was there yesterday. And fantastic facility, state of the art. Okay. And, so you need guys like me that are willing to invest in the building as part of it. I shouldn't say the invest word, right? I want to keep this building nice, and I want to make sure that all the residents that are in this building appreciate living in this building. Okay. I want the outside to look nice. I want the inside to look nice. Yeah. Anyway, this is a great building to live in. 36 years old, and you can still rent condos. You can rent really dirt cheap condos here for like 8,000. Most of them are going to probably be 15 to 20,000 because they're nicer. You get a place like mine. I would never. I'm not interested in renting mine. Okay, but if I was going to rent it, let's say I was going to leave for a year or whatever and rent it out, I'd probably want 15 to 20,000 minimum. Okay, so, and I think that's pretty standard in this condo. So, and you're going to have lots of guys that are going to say, "Oh, that's BS, Tom. You can't rent it that cheap." Well, in October through April timeframe, they fill up fast. It's very hard to find good units. Okay, depends on what you stay in. Let's see here. So Yield Mag, buy some GameStop. Let's see what else. Thank you. That's exactly what Democrat. Thank you. That's exactly what I've been looking for. Right. Yeah. I'm younger, not financially settled yet, like the retirees have. Right. Yeah. I get it, brother. I get it. Okay. Buy some utility Misty in a Roth account. Okay. Retire a millionaire. Yeah. A lot of crypto millionaires here. Okay. What do you think about that? Borrowing money? Wow. Uh, yeah. That's, I was talking about that. Um, if you're in the business of loaning money, you have to look at it as giving away money in Thailand, because I would never, there's been times when I've been out at a bar or something like that, and I'm running short, and I'll say to my buddy, "Hey, can you spot me 1,000 baht?" But I guarantee you, when we leave that bar, I'm going to the ATM, and he's going to have that 1,000 baht back ASAP, or the very next day, the latest. I'm not the guy that's going to be owing anybody money, but I'm not the guy that's out borrowing money. Most of these guys borrowing money, they want $10,000 or whatever they need. They have all the same excuses that these Thai girls do: sick buffaloes, their mother sick, they're whatever the case may be. They have all the problems as well. And CRF, what is CRF? Sinking rocket. Okay. My gosh, what a story! But yeah, right. Let's see here, Mellum. Hey, bro, Arizona. Good to see you on here. Yeah, Florida Gators for me. It's factored buying a condo in Florida. Number one, Thailand. Number one, two, Vietnam. Yeah, that's a possibility. I've never been to Vietnam yet, and we're going. So, all right. Yeah, absolutely. Try not to look at these properties here as investments. That's my best advice for you. Um, right. And so that's the fact. Buying's a lot easier than selling one. And uh, but if you're in the right areas, like Brian, he put his up for sale, it sold like that, you know. And actually, when I was here, I ended up buying two other ones here, and they sold like that too. One of them took within a month, and the other one took like 3 months. So, but I know people that have things overpriced, and they say, well, it should be worth this here, a certain price. So they sit on it, and then they leave, and they don't want to pay a broker, So, and then they complain about it being empty all the time, and nobody's interested in buying their property because it's overvalued. So, yeah, don't be those people. Don't renting a condo here is probably the best way to go. It comes right down to it. All right. Let's see here. Is there anything else? Um, I have videos. I have several videos coming out. I got one, Rogers. I was talking about this last week. It was supposed to be out tonight, but I'm going to do this long form video on the motorbike accident. Right? Everybody knows I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Okay. I'm going to stay on top of the upkeep, wound care, that type of stuff. I got another video, a long form content video about the expensive things in Thailand. What is everything cheaper? No, it's not. And so when you're talking about, there's so many things that are very affordable here. But if you're talking about anything imported, okay, anything dealing with tourists in general, okay, it's more expensive. But let me give you a good example. in a lot of videos I talk about accommodations for a tourist. Okay, uh, and I talk about upgrading your stay as a tourist. So if you were going to be anywhere in the U.S. and you were going to stay in a 4 or 5 star hotel, how much would that cost you? Okay, so no, I'm going back to the U.S. I'm staying at the Hilton in Los Angeles or LAX overnight, and I think that's like $180 for one night, and it's not even, yeah, it's for like 12 hours or so, something like that. $180, and I'm not really going to get to do anything because I don't arrive until like 5 o'clock at night, and I leave at 10 o'clock the next morning. Um, but I'm at the Hilton and Hilton Honor and that type of stuff, right? It's that motorbike. Anyway, so $180. Now here you can stay. Bill just came in. We were talking to him the other day, and he's over at the Dusitani. So I've checked on the Dusitani, and average night there is like 6,000 baht. Now that's 5 star, all the way 5 star hotel here, okay, or resort. So 5,000 is $150 for the night. You can stay at the Hilton here, another 5 star property, 150, 180, something like that. Um, you can stay. There's all kinds of 5 star places here, but lots of 3 stars for 30 to $45 a night, 1,000 to 1,500 baht a night. So, and you can really stay in some great properties here at very cheap prices, and that's the reason why I say always upgrade your stay when you're in Thailand. Now if you go to Hua Hin and you can stay at the Hilton for like $120 a night, it's fantastic, and right there on the ocean and everything, fantastic. Now I stay a lot of times. There's a place over there on Hua Hin called S6 Hua Hin, and it's like $20 a night, king size, brand new property, king size bed, smart TV, great aircon, have a swimming pool. It's fantastic. $20 a night, 600 baht. Yeah, and I get it on Agoda, so I get money back. Yeah, it's fantastic. So anyway, I list all the things that are super expensive here. So if it's tourist driven, it's going to cost more. If it's imported, if you need ranch barbecue or ranch salad dressing, and you want Hidden Valley Ranch in the bottle, you're going to pay $12 a bottle. Okay, and I don't know how much that costs in the U.S., but yeah, that type of thing there. So if you need certain cheeses or wine is another thing. You know, a 500 or let's say a $5 bottle of wine in Belgium or France, or maybe even in the U.S., is probably $20 to $30 here. So, yeah, figure that one out. Okay. Anyway, so I got a video on that coming up. It should be good. You definitely add to it. If you have something that you find super expensive, put it in the comment section below. I'll include it in the video. Yeah, maybe. Now, yeah, we don't talk about, well, you know what we don't talk about in that content, right? Let me look at these ones again here before we get going here. Yeah. When you come, Stinking Rock, when are you coming back here? Let's see, 1-2 hours away. I never go there willingly. Stayed at the Myth around Soy for yeah, really nice, fantastic. Let's see here, Thai Holiday 2026. Just subscribed. Always interested in the other guys. Yeah, I appreciate it. Welcome, Thai Holiday. Thank you. Yeah. You know, where am I at right now? Like 6,000. 8,000 something. I'm approaching 9,000. So I'm hoping to get to 9,000 subscribers eventually. Definitely. Hey, I'm gonna throw that out there too. If you haven't given me that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up button. Doesn't cost you anything. Signals the algorithm to send out and share this video to more people. And yeah. And if you ever have any questions, you want to talk about something that you don't want to make public or anything like that, you can always send me an email at margaritasinparadise@gmail.com. All right. I try to answer every question. I answer every comment. So let's see here. But yeah, welcome Thai holiday. Okay. Tail frets, 1,800 a night at Arbor on 3rd Road. Nice place, great service. Okay. To me, yeah, I have to check out Arbor. That's a nice place, I think, right? So to me, 3rd Road's pretty far out. But yeah, everybody has their choices in life that they make here. Why not? Okay, definitely appreciate that input. I'll have to make a note and check out that place. So Max Thai, I don't want to be around mongers or that lifestyle. Is Jomtien sufficiently far away from this? Don't come to Thailand, Max Thai. Okay. Um, Unfortunately, um, this area is all about that. But it only represents about 20% of what's to do here. Okay. It's easy to stay away from the nightlife stuff, but when you look around in every alley, somebody's opening up a new bar and they hire bar girls that are looking for customers. Okay. And that's the way it is. I was talking to a nurse yesterday. I mentioned Sue up at the hospital, and she was asking me about. And she has other nurse friends up there now. I don't think Sue's this way, but she has other nurse friends of hers there that go with people, and they're customers. Okay, so are all professional girls in non-transactional relationships? No, there's lots of professional girls that you wouldn't think have anything to do with transactional relationship that are expecting to be paid. So, and in this area here, because it's so accepted, yeah, I don't know the best way to tell you, and I hate really saying anything negative about coming here, because I want you to be here and I want you to be happy. But on the other hand, if you have a problem with mongers per se, then this is probably not the area to be in. And I wonder if that sounds right. Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, maybe Indonesia or Malaysia. I've never been to either one of those countries either, but maybe that may be better for you. Let's see here. Mostly, yeah. Pratamac is a great area. I like the Cozy Beach area. That's like second on my book. There's a lot that kind of goes into Pratamac. It doesn't offer enough things locally, but you're 5 to 10 minutes away from the things that you really need. So Pratamac's a great area. Jomtien, it can be quiet, it can be rowdy. It kind of just depends on where you're at. A lot of people like Jomtien. It's old school. So yeah, I get it. Gatekeeping, I don't know, Lupus. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. Yeah. I try to say things the way I feel about it. I'm not trying to talk. I talk around things I know that YouTube doesn't like. Okay. So, but on the other hand, But I want to be honest with you. Okay. One of the reasons why I started this channel was because I was listening to people talk about stuff that I didn't believe in. I was like, huh? What are they talking about? Um, so, and if I say something wrong, I want you to call me out on it. It's kind of like if I do something wrong, call me out on it. This thing about the motorbike when I crossed pedestrian traffic or crossed a crosswalk with pedestrian in it. Okay, um, you know the people that called me out on that were absolutely right, and but they didn't know the full story. Okay, so um, yeah, I have a video where I think it's titled "Almost Got Rear-Ended in Pattaya." Check that out, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, Ty Holiday, not a newbie, 23 times in the kingdom, moved to Pattaya for the majority of the future. Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm not trying to dictate the way things are here. I'm just trying to tell you what I feel like the way that things are here. 23 times tells me a lot of experience, and maybe if you ever decide that you want to help others out, to contact me. Maybe we can do an interview or something like that and put something together. And your experience, as a matter of fact, not only you, okay, Ty Holiday, I'm talking about people in general. If anybody's ever interested in doing an interview, reach out to Tom, okay? And I do have several interviews coming up, but I'm always looking for that new perspective of what's going on and why you're here and what you want to do. Okay. So, everybody, people ask me, and I'll be perfectly honest. When I came here, it was all about nightlife and the girls. In fact, I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be, but I still take part in seeing different people. I've married a girl, I've been at the bar, I've had restaurants, I've done a lot of different things here. Let's see. Right. Yeah. And so here in I talk about if you're going to stay here, I talk about you don't want to pee in your own backyard, right? So if you're staying near the areas that you're playing in, it's going to be uncomfortable at some time. So I would always say try to stay 5 to 10 minutes away from where you're playing at, where you hang out the most. That makes sense? Okay. Um, yeah. Florida Gator. Uh, right. Yeah, I appreciate it, brother, the support. Um, it's tough, I understand. Pattaya in general is an adult fantasy land. It can be an adult fantasy land. Um, the guys that come here that I see that I go out with a lot of times, they think, God, man, they're a 70-year-old man and they're hanging out with 20-year-old girls, and a lot of the world would say, "Oh, that's not right." He's a dirty old pervert or whatever, that type of stuff. But a lot of these guys are, they were married for a long time. They were in a relationship for a long time, and things just didn't happen the way that they thought it would happen. And, you know, I can look back personally. My first wife is Lori, and Lori's a good friend of mine right now. Uh, we just fell out of love. Basically, what happened. Married to her for 25 years, 156 days. All right, and but the last 10 years, we never touched each other or anything like that. And yeah, I'm not trying to give away too much information, but the fact is that things happen in relationships, and then you get out of those relationships, and your eyes get open to places like this where uh, there's people here that want out of their lifestyle. They want to improve their circumstances, so they're looking for people like you to improve their lives. Okay, some of it may be transactional, some of it may not be, but um, but on the other hand, people end up living really great lives. And when I was married to Nikki, for instance, a lot of you knew her. She was 16 years younger than me, and she was a rock star. Okay, I mean, absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I was married to her for 8 years. My first 5 years was awesome. We traveled all over the United States, all over the world together. I loved, we had our vending company down in Florida for the December, January, February time frame, and I would love hanging out in Fort Lauderdale Beach during spring break, that type of stuff, with my 30-year-old wife in a bikini walking down the beach. I love that. Was it showing off? Yeah, probably. But I loved it, and that's the way it goes. So some people are like that, some people are not. I get it, but and a lot of people do that here. So let's see here. Yeah, Yater, me neither. So the people I like to hang out with, I like 35 to 50-year-olds. That's my style. But I could see a 20-year-old, but maybe for an hour. Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah, you can't talk to them. They're not going to be into anything that you're into. Yeah. People figure that out. They come here, they live that fantasy life for a little bit of period of their life, and then they figure it out. It's like me. I like to go out 2 or 3 nights a week. Sometimes when you guys show up and I get really busy, then it's more than that. But I really like to cut that back. Okay, guys. Let's see. Is there anything else here? Let me double check here. Again, thumbs up. If you haven't done the thumbs up, hit that thumbs up. That's going to be it, I think. 2 hours and 47 minutes, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah. I get that. When you move to the village, when you found somebody that you really want to be with, and you move to the village and meet the family, you look at mom, and you know what she's going to look, the girl that you're with is going to look like in 20 years, that type of thing. That's real, right? I mean, definitely real here in Thailand. So those, I don't know. Am I saying the right things? I'm not sure, but you want to take care of yourself. You're number one. You come here and relationships and that are all about compromise. Yeah, but when you're in Thailand, Thais take care of themselves, so you need to take care of yourself. All right, guys, I appreciate it again. Malum, I appreciate it. Okay, brother John, Gator, Mike, all you guys out there. Again, thank you. Somebody bump me one more thumbs up before I go. Make it 40. Make it 40. Okay, I'm not going to press on. You guys, again, thank you so much. And we'll see you. We're going to try for next Saturday, 10:30. And thanks for that thumbs up. All right, you guys are awesome. Yeah. And next Saturday, I'll try to get that scheduled on here. Is there any support for a live stream on if I did one like at midnight sometime here, which would make it like 12 o'clock in Central Time in the U.S.? I don't know. Somebody mentioned that. If there is, put it in the comment section below. I definitely appreciate it, guys. Okay. Bye-bye. That's going to be it. Oh, here, I'll let you see the ocean a little bit more, too. My hands shake too much. Someday I'll get better and have a tripod or something.